What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this very boring review about a very boring show called 90 Day Fiance Season 10, Episode 13, To Love and to Cherish. Y'all, this season has been, so far, it has been such a complete snooze fest. I keep thinking that it's going to get better, that we're still in the beginning of the season, so things really haven't heated up yet, and just give it time and it's going to get more interesting. We are on episode 13. We are on episode 13. Another thing that pisses me off about this show, other than the fact that, this season has just been a real dud, is the fact that it's 2 hours long. And I'm thinking, like, y'all, TLC, if y'all are going to make this show 2 hours, make it interesting. Make it the best 2 hours of my life. I'm not understanding why every single episode it seems like there's just nothing there. The only thing that keeps me coming back really is Nikki and Igor. That's probably the only thing that keeps me really watching this show. I don't care about any other couple on this season. And if you can't make it more interesting, cut it in half. Give me an hour. Make it feel like, something interesting is happening because the time is going by so fast because it's only an hour. But when it's 2 hours, the boringness of the show is just magnified to like 100. Because number one, who wants to spend 2 hours watching one single show? 2 hours is just too long. And then you give us absolutely nothing. So I'm constantly like looking at the time, seeing how much more time do we have left? How much longer does this have to go on for? Where are we now? How much time has already passed? That's all I'm doing the whole entire time that I'm watching this drivel. It's just awful. It is awful. Y'all, this season is awful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try to, play sweet. It's awful. This is a bad season. Number one, look, why are we watching Annalie and Clayton? What is so interesting about Annalie and Clayton? Why am I watching Sam and Citra? I think that TLC just picked people who are like funny looking and who look to be a little bit off or whatever, or like weird, or like Clayton, he's such an introvert. All he does is play video games all day. And the most interesting thing about Clayton so far has been that he has this online friend that's been his best friend for like 10 years and they've never met in person. I swear to God, like, that's the most interesting thing about him, because it's like, this is, I don't even know. There's nothing interesting about any of these people. Your boy Gino and Jasmine. That whole situation right there. I'm tired. I'm tired of Gino and Jasmine. Gino and Jasmine. I keep saying this season after season after season. Their formula is to have a really nasty, ugly argument where they're cussing each other out, throwing insults at each other, and then the very next scene, it's back to lovey-dovey, kissy-kissy. I'm sorry too, baby. I promise to be better. I promise to change. And then rinse and repeat. They're back to arguing. They're back to insulting each other. And it's just tiring and it's boring and it's not giving anything. And I have a feeling that maybe they're going to give Gino and Jasmine like a wedding special, because they're like the OGs of 90 Day Fiance. I don't know. I hope not. I need to break away. I need to go to like Reality TV Anonymous or something. I need to break away from this show and just call it quits, because I am wasting my damn time talking about this show, watching this show. It's not doing anything for me. Okay, let's get into it. Who are we going to start with? Well, we'll start off with the most interesting couple so far. And when I say that Nikki and Igor are the most interesting couple, that does not mean necessarily that they themselves are that captivating. It's just that compared to the other couples on this show, this storyline is the one that I'm a little bit more invested in. So Nikki is getting her nails done. She's by herself and she goes into a nail salon, and as she's getting her nails done, she's telling the nail tech, like her whole entire relationship history with Igor. And she starts, talking about really intimate details about the relationship, talking about how she's not getting enough sex from Igor. Their intimacy is really lacking. And I'm like, why are you telling the nail tech this? Like, what do you expect her to say? Then she starts talking about how Igor is like very controlling, and she's asking the nail tech, are Moldovan men, this controlling? And the nail tech is like, hell yes, they are. They're very controlling. You don't need this. Just stick with your American boys. So then, as she's talking to the nail tech, I'm realizing, and I understand there's like a language barrier. The nail tech did understand and she did speak English, but I guess her English wasn't top tier. So the way Nikki was talking to her, she was like, like talking a little bit too loud. Talking slow, I guess, for her to understand. But then she like added an accent. Like, I'm not understanding, like, why are you talking with an accent, Nikki? Just because the other person may not be very proficient in English. Because all of a sudden she's like, yes, and me and my boyfriend, then we are not doing anything. And it's like she's talking with this accent. I'm like, what's happening, Nikki? Why are you? Anyways, so moving on from there, the next time that we see Nikki, she's with Igor, and Igor has planned a very romantic ride in a swan boat. It looks like a big old swan, and you got to pedal your way through the water. So it was supposed to be very romantic, I guess, because the next day, well, her little trip to Moldova is coming to an end, and the next day they're supposed to have this engagement party. So he really wanted to do something special for Nikki. So after the boat ride, they're sitting on a bench, like in a park type area, and they're talking and they're having a conversation, of course, about their relationship. Nikki brings up the engagement party and how she's looking forward to that, and somehow, and I'm not really clear how, but somehow Igor happens to work into the conversation the topic of a threesome. So once again, he brings us up and he tells her that, look, I know that what you really want out of this relationship is you want more sex. You want more intimacy. So for me to give that to you, we have to include another female into the mix. And he tells us in his confessional that his heart is in love with Nikki, but his body ain't. Okay, his body isn't. So his body is not responding to Nikki at all, right? Or it's rarely responding to Nikki. And for him to get, the engines going is for him to have another female in the bedroom with them. So Nikki, and then he tells us that this is not really cheating. He says this is the solution to the problem. The problem is not enough intimacy. Well, the solution is to add another female. And so he talks about it really like, really pragmatic, like, I'm just giving y'all the facts. I'm just letting y'all know on how we can solve this problem. Not really, I don't know if he's understanding or not, that this is just not coming off right at all. Like, you're making yourself look a whole lot worse because you're basically saying that obviously it's bothering you that she's a trans woman, but you can't do the right thing by just breaking up with her and letting her go. If you're not into her being trans and it really like messes with your mind that you're with a trans woman and you can't get over the fact that, in between her legs, something was there and now it's not, and you just can't get over that, then just let her go. Leave her. But you can't leave her because she is supporting your lifestyle. So when he brings this up to Nikki again about the whole threesome thing, because he's like, hey, I know that what your issue is with me. This is how we can solve it by having a threesome. And I don't understand if he is wanting a threesome every single time that they're intimate, or he just wants to do this like once in a blue moon or what. So Nikki counter offers and says, well, if I'm going to let you be with somebody else in our bedroom, then you're going to have to let me be with somebody else. You're going to have to let me include another man at some point in time. And so he says no to that. He's like, no, I don't want that to happen. I can't, I just can't stand to see you with another man. That's not going to happen. So then they start arguing, and they're arguing back and forth because, she's, calling out the fact that it's a double standard. And then she starts talking about him not taking any accountability in their relationship. I think she was referring to when he was with other women while she was still in America and he was seeing other women, and I don't know what she was talking about, but she was talking about him not having any accountability. So they start arguing, and that's the end of that scene. It ends with them arguing. He gets up and he walks away or something. So, like I said, their storyline is the only one that holds my interest in any kind of way. When they are on TV, I am like really paying attention. And I'm listening, really intently whenever Nikki and Igor are on the screen. Everybody else, complete and utter snooze fest. I hate it. I absolutely hate it that I've let myself get sucked in to another horrible season of 90 Day Fiance. Let's move on to our second couple, Jasmine and Gino. So like Nikki and Igor are up here, and then when we get to the second couple, we're like, it's like a straight drop down. It's not even close. So Jasmine and Gino, they're still in Miami. Gino has planned a very romantic poolside dinner for Jasmine. They're also towards the end of their trip, they're about to be going home as well. So Jasmine and Gino, okay, so Gino plans a very romantic poolside dinner for Jasmine. As they are having a conversation, Jasmine tells him that she never saw herself with someone like Gino, basically saying, I never saw myself with somebody as unattractive as you. That's basically what she was saying, just to kind of like, sum it all up. She says, I've always imagined myself with a very muscular, handsome, rich man. Like, I never thought that I would be with anybody like you, like a toad like you. So she says that she understands that she's been really difficult lately, and that she's going to really work on her attitude, and she's going to try to be better, and that she's going to try to bond with his family, and that she feels really bad that she had ever said that if he couldn't come to the wedding. Now she's turned a whole new leaf, and she wants to make things better with Gino and his family. So Gino, he gets all emotional. I'm not exactly sure why, but he gets really emotional. He starts crying, and I guess he was just so happy and overwhelmed that she is acknowledging her faults and she's trying to fix them. So then he gets up and he goes off into the distance or whatever, and he gets a bag that he's been hiding, and in the bag is a ring. So once again, he's going to propose to Jasmine, because the first ring was utter garbage. The first ring that he proposed to her with. I could have sworn that there was a second ring when he went back to Panama on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Or 90 Day Fiance is before the 90 days, 90 Day Fiance. I don't know, whichever one it was that we just saw last season. I could have sworn that when he went to Panama to go see her the last time that he had gotten her another ring, but I could be wrong. So then he takes out the ring and he proposes to her yet again, and this is an upgrade. It's a much better ring, and so she's really, really happy, but she still has a secret to confess to him. So they end the night really well, but then the next morning, as they're getting ready to leave, she decides it's time to confess. So after they've packed up their bags, she tells them, Gino, I've got something to tell you. She says, how you gave me the $4,000 to go buy the wedding dress, but instead I spent it on my butt implants. Well, you gave me the $4,000. I had $4,000 already saved up, but I need an additional $2,000. So I went to my ex-boyfriend Dane, and he was the one that gave me that additional $2,000. So Gina's upset about this. He's upset, number one, because of the fact that she made such a big deal about his bachelor party, but here she is accepting money from the man that she had said she had slept with while before Gino came back to Panama, or at some point she had slept with this man, when their last blow up argument that they had, not the last one, but 3 or 4 arguments down the line, somewhere there, they had this argument where she had yelled out, and I slept with Dane and it was the best I've ever had, and he's the one that I really want to be with, blah, blah, blah. So Gino, of course, he felt some kind of way about this. He was kind of upset about it. And he tells, what, well, you giving me this information has completely ruined my trip now. I was on cloud 9, we were having a really good time. I'm proposing to you again. And now you drop this bomb on me that you're accepting money from someone that you claim you were still having a sexual relationship after me and you were together. So he was really upset about that. And that's where their segment ended. I really don't care. I don't care anything about Jasmine and Gino. This to me was not dramatic. It wasn't interesting at all, because you know what? Gino is not going to leave Jasmine. Whether it's for the show, whether he really does have feelings for this woman in real life, I don't know. I don't care, but they're not going to break up. It's just going to be rinse and repeat. It's just going to be them once again. They're going to have an argument. They've already shown us the teaser for next week where they do have an argument. They're insulting each other. She's yelling and screaming at him. But then 5 minutes later, they're going to be right back to canoodling again. And that's just how it is. Let's just get through this so I can go about my business. Then we're going to talk about Ashley and Manuel. Boring. Why are we watching Ashley and Manuel? What is so interesting? Like, I understand, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that apply for this show. And these are the most interesting couples that y'all can come up with. I understand with Igor and Nikki. I get that. But the other couples, this is the most interesting that y'all can come up with out of all the people that applied. Ashley and Manuel, Citra and Sam, Clayton and Annalie. These are the most interesting people. So, like, this is the reason why I said in the beginning of the video that I think that TLC, they're just in it to exploit people. Anyways, Ashley and Manuel, they are still at the cafe, because remember, they were at the cafe with Manuel's best friend, because Ashley has surprised Manuel with bringing his best friend over to wherever the hell they're at. And so they're at the cafe, they're arguing because Manuel has an issue with Ashley spending money. So, frivolously, he feels like any extra money that she may have needs to go back to his family back home in Ecuador. So he tells her that you're not very supportive, because when she has extra money, she spends it on whatever the hell she wants, but she doesn't send any money back to his family. And so he tells her, I don't feel like you're very supportive of me. She got really upset because she's like, all I've done is support you. I brought you here by myself without an attorney. I did the whole K1 visa process alone. I didn't have an attorney help me. I paid all this money to bring you over here. I'm still taking care of you while you're here because you can't work right now. All I've done is support you. And when I did feel like it, I did send money to your family. So that got her really upset. So they're arguing. She gets up and she leaves. They go outside the damn cafe. The friend follows them because the friend doesn't know what the hell to do. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. So he follows them outside. Then they go back inside the cafe. And they leave him outside. He's stranded because he doesn't know what's going on. So Ashley and Manuel, they go back inside the cafe, and they only went back into the cafe because they had to knock one out. They had to go have sex in the bathroom. That's just what they do. They argue and they have sex. They argue, and that's all it is for them. Rinse and repeat in that way. So they're in the bathroom, knocking one out. Then they come out acting like, they completely forgot that they had the microphones on and we heard everything. And so, yeah, that's what they did. Moving on from there, the next time that we see Ashley, she's meeting up with her sister and her best friend, because her sister is a dance choreographer, and they're going to be learning a dance that they're going to be performing at the wedding. When she said that she's going to be dancing this choreographed routine at her wedding, I was like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, because we have seen these on social media where, the bride or the groom will perform this choreographed dance for their partner, and either it comes off extremely well or it's extremely bad. There's like no in between when it comes to this. So I don't know how it's going to look but it's like, Ashley, this better be on point. This dance better be tight, because it's either going to be really well or it's going to be an epic, cringy fail. I would not recommend these choreographed dances at weddings. I just would not recommend. Like I said, some of them are pretty good, but a lot of them ain't. So after they do the practice, they sit down and they're having a conversation. And of course, Ashley tells them about the argument that she had at the cafe with Manuel, where he said that she was not being supportive. And then they went into the bathroom and they had sex. And so the sister is like, the relationship, this is just what it consists of: arguing and having sex. That's it. That's all they do. And the friend is not really like, she doesn't have a lot of confidence in their relationship and Ashley and Manuel's relationship. So she feels like them getting married may not be a very good idea, but who's going to stop Ashley? Ashley tells them that she's going to have to keep the faith that things are going to work out after they get married, because if they are not able to get married, or if they don't get married, then she's just going to be spending a lot of money going to Ecuador to see him. So she's just going to keep the faith and hope and pray that everything is going to get better after they get married, which it ain't. And because it seems like whatever problems that you have before marriage are just magnified after marriage. So then her friend tells her that they're not going to get any better. Your problems are not going to go away. They're not going to get any better, especially since their solution is to just, sex it out. Like, they don't talk about what the issues are, or when they do talk, they end up arguing because both of them are very stubborn and they both think that they're right. And they both think that the other person should just bend over. So, that's what's happening. I guess it's actually always bending over, because anyways, so, the friend and the sister are like, we don't really know about this, but Ashley, she's not gonna listen to reason. She's gonna keep on and marry this man and whatever. Like I said, I really don't care. I really truly don't care if they get married or if they don't get married. I'm not invested in Ashley and Manuel at all. Moving on to an even more boring couple. Now look, when I call them boring, I'm not really saying that I don't like them or think there's something wrong with them, or it's just the storylines are just boring. Citra and Sam. So they're going on their very first real date, and they want to have one last hurrah before Sam converts to Islam. So they go to a bar / restaurant, and Citra wants to have an alcoholic beverage, but she doesn't want it to be too strong on the alcohol level. So they both get something really fruity, but the alcohol is definitely still in the drink, but it's just more fruity than whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, their religion, Citra's religion, is so important to her that she wants Sam to convert. But it's not so important that she feels like she has to follow the tenements of her religion, because I thought Muslims could not have alcohol. And I think she even mentioned something about how they are not really supposed to be drinking alcohol. Okay, right there. She says she knows she's breaking the rules, but she wants to give it a try. So she herself knows that drinking alcohol is wrong. It's against her religion, but she's going to do it anyway. So I'm not understanding, like, how come you pick and choose what rules you want to follow, what rules you want to break, but he has to convert to Islam? Why can't he, if your religion is not so important to you that you have to follow every single tenement, why are you making him convert? Because you yourself don't even respect your religion enough to follow all the tenements. So why are you making him convert? Why don't you just let him stay whatever he is, which I'm believing is atheism? Let him stay an atheist. And I just don't understand. I guess it's important to her dad, but her dad probably doesn't know how loosey-goosey she's treating her religion. And also in her confessional, she talks pretty openly about sex, because she talks about giving him, blue balls and whatever else. And I'm just not understanding how Citra is moving around. I don't understand how she's operating at all, because she acts like, she doesn't take her religion that seriously, but she wants this man to convert and change his whole life for her. Later on, Citra and Sam, they go to the mosque and they meet with an Islamic leader. I think it's called an imam. I don't know if I'm saying it right, if I'm using the right term. I think they meet with an imam. So to me, it's just like Sam is not interested in converting to Islam. If you're going to convert to a religion, you need to convert because there's something about that religion that you feel really, really drawn to. Not because you're trying to marry some chick so you can hurry up and sleep with her. It's just stupid. Like, why am I watching Citra and Sam on my television? Why? It's stupid. He wants to convert to Islam just so that he can bang this girl after they get married, because otherwise her father is not going to allow them to get married and he won't be able to bang her because they can't bang before they get married. It's just stupid that he would be so frivolous with religion. It's wrong. Sam is not interested in Islam. He's only doing it to marry this girl. It's just absolutely wrong. And I don't know if maybe Sam and Citra have an understanding that, hey, once you convert, we're only going to do it for my dad, okay? But then after you convert, don't worry about, praying 5 times a day and, doing all of the things that, a real Muslim does. Don't worry about any of that stuff. We're just going to go on and live our non-Islamic life, after my dad leaves and after we get married. I'm pretty sure that's the understanding that they have, because I don't think Islam is that important to Sam, and I don't think it's that important to Citra. Moving on. Citra's sisters and dad arrived. So the one sister and the dad had already arrived because they're already in the hotel. Sam and Citra go pick up the other sister from the airport. And Sam tells us that he refers to her sisters as mean girls because they talk about his looks. They call him Popeye, the sailor man. They have no issues pointing out all the things about him physically that he's insecure about. So he refers to them as the mean girls. So then they meet up with the other sister and the dad at the dad's hotel, and the dad just wanted to have a conversation with Sam. Obviously they want to meet him, whatever. Okay, so they meet him. Hello, nice to see you, whatever. So then the father gets down to business, and he wants, Sam to reassure him that he will convert to Islam and that he will take care of Citra. Of course, Sam says yes to all of the above, but he really, could care less. Anyways. As I'm watching this scene, I see that her younger sister has on a shirt where you can see her stomach. It's like a crop top or something. You can see her stomach. And I'm like, The other sister is in the traditional, Muslim garb. She's in, covering her head and everything. And then the other sister is showing her, like, what is going on with this family? I'm very confused on how seriously they're taking their religion. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I was very confused about that, because I would think that, that they have to be completely covered up, or they have to dress modest. And that younger sister was not dressed modest at all. And she's sitting there by her dad, next to her dad, with her stomach all exposed. Okay, so Sam's biggest issue really is confessing to the father that he has his diversion might be threatened, and he might end up having to go to jail. That's what he's most worried about. But Citra does not want him to reveal that until, the right time comes along. I really don't care. Moving on to Annalie and Clayton. God help us. God help us. I dread watching Annalie and Clayton. I need to have like a serious conversation with the casting directors or the producers of this damn show, because I need to know, what was it about Annalie and Clayton that y'all thought was going to be so interesting and entertaining for us to watch? Now, granted, Gino and Jasmine are entertaining, but they're very predictable. Their relationship has not moved forward in years. Now that she's here in America, it's the same thing that was going on in Panama, but just in a different environment. Now she also has the cold to complain about, amongst the list of all the other things that she complains about with Gino. So they're entertaining, but their whole storyline, their whole dynamic is extremely repetitive. What was so captivating about Annalie and Clayton? Other than he's an incel and he's an introvert who has a best friend that he hasn't seen ever in real life, but this is his best friend. And then his mom lives in a closet. You know what? I think that's what it was. I forgot about that because they don't show her enough. I forgot about that. I think what made them get the call that they were chosen for the show is the fact that he had his mom living in the closet. I think that's what it was, but they barely show her. So the big selling point of Annalie and Clayton's story, we barely even see it. Annalie has locked herself in the damn bathroom because she got triggered when Clayton kept on asking her or pressuring her to tell her dad about their relationship. So she didn't like that because she wants to tell her dad at her own damn time. And Clayton is also bothered that she has not posted anything about the relationship on her social media. So she gets upset with him and she locks herself in the bathroom. He finally coaxes her to come out. She comes out, they sit down, they have a conversation, reluctantly because she really doesn't want to talk. She just wants to go to bed. But he tells her that, look, the reason why it bothers me that you haven't told your family, that you haven't posted us on social media is because, my ex-girlfriend, the one that cheated on me, she kept our relationship a secret. Y'all, I don't know what the hell Clayton said because it's so hard for me to pay attention because I'm trying to fight sleep when these people are on my television set and they're talking. And then I got to read the subtitles when Clayton is talking. And so, not when Clayton, because he's talking to her in Spanish. So then I have to read the subtitles. And it's just too much for me, especially when they're so boring. So I don't know if he said that his ex did not want to post them on social media, or was it did I dream that when I nodded off? I don't know, but something about his ex and the ex cheating on him makes him feel insecure about his relationship with Annalie. And he's wondering if history is repeating itself and if she's going to do to him what his ex did. So she wants to reassure him because I guess this story really touched her for some reason. I don't know why, but this story really, really, really touched her. And so she decided that she was going to go ahead and post their relationship online. So she gets on her social media, she posts a picture of the two of them together and the message basically announcing to the world that, they're together, they're in a relationship, this is her man, and blah, 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 blah. So the story worked. Whatever sob story he gave her about the ex cheating on him, hiding their relationship, it worked because he got him some that night. Finally, he said it ended a 2-month drought. 2 months. He's been sleeping next to the girl and nothing has been happening. So finally, you know, they got it on and popping. The next morning, Clayton is really, really happy. And they call, so they go out, right? They go out and about in San Diego, and he decides to FaceTime his sister because Annalie wants to ask the sister to host her bachelorette party. So the sister's like, you know what? I got you. I've already gotten started on that. No worries. Then Clayton says, okay, when you're done with all of that, can you also, you know, get the llama and get the guy who's going to wear the guinea pig costume? Because this is what Annalie wants in her wedding, and it's supposed to like incorporate his tradition and his culture and her culture, and I guess him with the guinea pigs and her with the llamas. You know, it's going to integrate their two cultures together, and they're going to represent whatever. So he's like, you know, get the damn guy who's gonna put on the guinea pig costume and get the damn llama for the wedding. And the sister's like, wait a minute, hold up. While y'all are having vacation out there in San Diego, I feel like I'm doing all the damn work for the bachelorette party and the damn wedding. Hell no. So the sister's like, no, I ain't doing all that. You're putting way too much on me and it's stressing me out. And she hangs up on them. What else am I gonna say about that? Nothing. Just nothing. I'd be damned if somebody showed up in a guinea pig costume at my wedding. Annalie, what are you doing? Moving on to Sophie and Rob. Oh my God. Sophie and Rob is a little bit interesting to me, not by much, but just a tad bit. So Sophie and Rob, they had that argument last week, you know, because her mom is in town. So they all went, they brought their mom back to their apartment, and the mom doesn't like the apartment at all for her daughter. It's too small. It's too cheap. She doesn't like it. And so she's getting on Rob's case, like, why haven't you done better for my daughter? You've been knowing for a while that Sophie was coming to America, but you did absolutely nothing to upgrade your lifestyle to accommodate her. So what the hell are you doing? So Rob and the mom get into it. Rob is like, you don't understand that, you know, I'm independent. I do all of this by myself. I'm supporting myself. I don't have help from anybody. I don't have any parents. I don't have any siblings. I don't have any grandparents. I guess he just fell out of the sky. And he's like, I don't have anybody. All of this is me. Okay. I'm just surviving on my own, and you can't give me any credit just for that, at least. So he leaves, he walks out, he's sitting down in the patio now. And, the mom is back in the apartment with Sophie. And like, the mom is like, girl, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. This is not for you. This ain't it. So they decide to leave, and they tell Rob, the mom tells Rob, I'm going to take Sophie back to my hotel. And Rob's like, I don't give a damn. Take her, keep her. I don't care. So then they leave. And that's that. That's that, y'all. In a nutshell. I can't believe that I spent 30 minutes talking about these people. I'm like, what the hell did I just say about all these people that would take up 30 whole minutes? That's it. Ain't got nothing else to say. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.